Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to another episode of the BOOM. Of course, I am your host with the most, as always, Cam G. The man to the right of me, that is the man known as Phil Khan. And of course, the man on the bottom of your screen, that is the man known as Metalcore Mike, my co-host and producer. Gentlemen, we are joined here once again for another AEW review show. And it's another Wednesday evening. But before I get into that, how is your Wednesday evening going? I kind of mixed that up, but you get what I'm saying.
I am so ready to see what the internet looks like in the next hour or two. I am so ready. I can't freaking wait. You know why, right? Because what we're about to talk to. Yes. About what we're about to talk to. I am so ready to see what all the WWE heads in the IWC have to say now. I'm so ready for it.
I already saw many of them crying.
Oh, boo-hoo.
That they didn't get their guy. Boo-hoo.
I got a shelf that's made of wood here that I got to break down in the next couple of days. I'll give them the wood so they can build a bridge and get the fuck over it.
Wow.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and I'm not going to reveal it before we start, but me and Cam literally on Monday night broke down any possibilities between now and even the Raw after WrestleMania of where anything like this would fit. And it's like, Cam, there was nothing, right? There was nowhere.
No.
Anything could fit. Nowhere. Nothing. Now, and here's the thing is we're fans, so that's obviously our opinion, and everybody's going to have their opinion. And I respect everybody's opinion, as I always say. But let's think logic for a second. Okay? Everything that WWE is doing right now, there is nowhere, no way, shape, or form where it fits. Nowhere. So I'm just excited to see what the IWC is going to be like in the morning, because again, not everybody watches AEW because AEW sucks and they're the shittier brand and blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay. Let's see what you have to say now, because your expectations just got shot down hard. Other than that, great Wednesday. It was a beautiful day out today. 80 degrees out today. I was outside most of the day. I actually went outside. I touched some grass. And, I do that every day anyways. I go outside, touch some grass because, I know how to leave my room and my house. Took the dog for a nice walk down at the park. I did a good deed for my community the other day, by the way. I did.
Oh.
For my community. Yeah.
Nice.
So long story short, the park by my house, let's just put it this way. As a avid dog walker at this park, I tend to run into the same dog walkers over the years and everything, and kind of, know the people that walk down there. Well, there are some new dog owners around here that are new to walking down at the park. And yesterday, one of these new dog walkers let their dog do their business and did not clean it up. Okay? Disgusting. It's not hard to grab a plastic bag and take it to the park and stick it in your pocket. Take it to the park with you. Anyways, I seen this, and instead of confronting, I said, I'm going to do something about this. So I called our Parks and Recreation city place, and I said, we don't have any dog stations here at this park. 2 or 3 would be fitting for it. I see it in any other park but here. And while I was on the phone with the person, they said the person that approves this stuff already has the form on their desk. I was writing it out while I was talking to you. So probably within the next day or two, we're going to get some dog stations down there. So did something for my community. Kind of proud of myself. But beautiful day out. It's raining right now. It's okay, though, because, it's nighttime. So beautiful Wednesday. Great Wednesday.
Phil?
Yeah, good Wednesday, man. It was pretty good weather, all things considering. It was very warm over here. Like Mike said, 80 degrees, but just a really good Wednesday. And then when I got home, settled in, was looking forward to seeing what we had tonight. Got some good things, got some bad things. We'll talk about it all. And yes, there's definitely people crying that they did not get their guy. But we'll see.
Good.
You know what? It is what it is, man.
So we will definitely get into AEW Dynamite tonight. We kick things off with Tony Schiavone in the ring. I feel like they started this kind of early because they're in the midst of Tony Schiavone trying to speak. The pyro is still going off, and it's cutting him off from talking. So I didn't like that at all. I just thought I just felt like by now you should have that sorted out. Like when you're going to do this, when you're going to do that.
I don't know if that was by design.
Yeah, I think that was on purpose.
Like,
I really think it was. I don't. I just think it's just more sloppiness from this company. So I'm not. It doesn't shock me anymore. It really doesn't. But that's what
I see where you're coming from.
By design. Why would they do this by design? And because I mean it literally looked like Tony Schiavone was getting pissed. Like he just kept getting cut off. So I don't think it was done by design. But
I mean, if you watch on how the show started, though, because Tony literally started when the green light went on. Like there was no introduction to, welcome everybody. Like Excalibur normally does his normal entrance. Like we are in this city, on a Wednesday night Dynamite, whatever.
And let's go to Tony Schiavone, who's in the ring or whatever.
He didn't get to do that. Yeah, Tony just started talking the minute that green light went on. Pyro didn't even get a chance to go off. So I think, and this is no slight on Tony Schiavone. He's a professional. He's great at what he does. A lot of us wish that we had a job that he has, and no slight on him. He might have started early and it might have been an accident. I think it was just a timing thing partially on his part because, the green light went on. He was ready to introduce the show. He was excited to go. And I don't think this is something that's going to happen on a normal basis. I think this was just a time off thing. That's what I think it was. And they just had to get that opening pyro off because you got to think they pay to have that opening pyro go off. And we're talking millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Pyro
budget is a real thing.
Yeah, I mean it's in the history books that the most expensive pyro ever in the world of professional wrestling is Batista's. Like his is the most expensive pyro ever, like in history. So, like they pay millions of dollars just for 2 seconds of pyro. Like it's insane. So they got to get their money's worth. They got to get it off. So it's just, I think it was just a timing thing. I don't think it's something that we're going to see on a continuing basis.
Well, before we can even get into the contract signing, which is what this was set up for, this opening segment, we then get a very familiar theme song in Judas, and Chris Jericho is the one that comes out. Of course, they milk this to death as they always do with the Judas thing, and the crowd is singing Judas, and he doesn't say anything for what felt like a good 20 minutes. I mean, the crowd's just chanting Jericho. They're singing Judas on and on and on. He's riling them up, and he simply just says he's home, which I don't know about that one, but he says he's home. So a lot of people are going to be upset about this, as you guys are talking about on Twitter and Instagram and things of that nature. The IWC is not going to be happy about one Chris Jericho coming back to AEW instead of leaving the company and going to WWE. I particularly don't care. I don't really think he's going to do anything in this company. What's really left for him to do? That's all that important. And I don't really think he would have done anything in WWE. I just wanted to hear Break the Walls Down. That was it. So I'm a little upset about that. But other than that, I didn't miss Jericho when he was gone. I really did. I was tired of Jericho. So that time away, I was relieved to see him gone from AEW television. So I couldn't care either way what he does. It's his career. If that's what he chooses to do, go for it, my man. But I really don't think he's going to do anything. And he's not going to play a significant part in AEW programming at all. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't think he really needs to play a significant part. I mean, you got to look at what he's done in the past couple years in AEW. I mean, how many times has he gone for the AEW World Title since holding it? Probably once since holding it. Like he held it for 6 months. And no, he doesn't. He does not need to go for it. He doesn't need to challenge for it at all. It's number one. It seems like he's going to be, I mean, to kind of settle this stature of the question of what is he going to be when he starts getting involved in storyline. I think he's going to be on the babyface side of things. That's what I think he's going to do because AEW has a pretty massive heel base as of late.
Yeah.
They do. So for him to come in and be a babyface, I think is going to be what he does, especially, he's been a heel in AEW for a while now. I mean, yeah, there was a couple times where he was a babyface by the design of the fact that his first faction was popular, kind of it got over. But then when he had, the JAS and the learning tree, it was all hands on deck for being a heel. And then he leaves and he does the whole thing with Fozzy and with his cover band that he does for the past almost 2 years. He's been gone for a while.
He's been gone for a year.
Yeah,
it's a year.
So I think to kind of put this to rest, my guess is he's going to play the babyface side of things because there is a huge heel pool in AEW right now. That's one. Number two, that's going to be the question is, does he need to go after a world title? No, he doesn't need to. It doesn't need to happen. They are in a really good place right now with their title picture, even with Kenny Omega, a guy that some people will question whether he needs to be in the title picture or not. What Kenny and MJF, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but what Kenny's doing right now since coming back and being in the title picture has been really good things. I mean, I'm hyped for MJF and Kenny Omega. I am. Not going to lie about that. I am. But regardless of who wins the title, Jericho doesn't need to be in that picture. I think his part is to continue helping a lot of the younger stars rise up because that's what he was doing after he held the world title. Him and Orange Cassidy in the Mimosa match, which helped Orange Cassidy a little bit. Raise his popularity. The stuff he was doing with Darby Allin and a lot of the stuff Jericho was doing, he was helping a lot of the younger stars. And I think that's something he's going to end up doing moving forward because we're getting into festival season. Okay. We're talking festivals all over the place, not only in the United States, but over in Europe. And Fozzy's a part of that. So he's going to have to go and come as he pleases, which means he's not going to be able to be stuck in like heavy hardcore storylining. He's going to have to be involved in something that's short, sweet, and can get to the point immediately because at the drop of a dime, he's going to have to say, okay, I got to leave for a couple weeks because I got to tour with Fozzy and I got to be here and there and there. And they do all these festivals, especially at this time. So from here on through the summertime, I can see him just doing little bits and pieces of storylining with younger stars. Probably more towards September, October-ish. If he continues, if he's around, that's when he'll probably start dipping his feet into deeper storylining and building something with somebody, but not championship-wise. And if he does go after championship-wise, I don't see anything involved with the world title. I could see something like, the TNT title or the Continental Classic title or one of those championships. That's what I see. I don't see Jericho in any realm going after a world championship ever. And if he does, if he does, it would be more so of a nostalgia match, like a reminder, like he had history with MJF. So they're going to have a one-off. Or if Kenny wins the belt. Some of the greatest matches in pro wrestling in the modern era have been Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. I mean, Tokyo Dome. Come on. Some of the greatest matches in the past 10 years have been Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho.
Jericho wouldn't win it is ultimately what would be going down to. He would not win it. They'd put him over.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is Jericho would just go in there and do the job that he needs to do. Doesn't raise the world title, but helps out who the champion is. That's it.
I'm on the completely opposite end of that spectrum, but I guess I just don't care to see Jericho, but that's just me. Phil, if you have anything on this?
Look, I see where you're coming from 1,000%, Cam. And honestly, I'm kind of in that same boat as you in terms of like the world title picture or anything like that, in terms of titles for Chris Jericho in this company. But like Mike, I just don't see him being a part of that kind of realm right now. Whether you like him or whether you don't, the fact of the matter is this guy in this company holds a lot of weight. He was the inaugural AEW World Champion in the company. He held a lot of equity as soon as the company of AEW started. And the fact of the matter is, he's going to be like what they need him to be for this company for however long he's going to be here for. The fact of the matter is, we realistically do not know how long he is going to be here. Like, we don't know if he's just going to ride out the rest of this thing or if this is going to be like his final year or whatever. We realistically do not know the ins and outs of his return to AEW or not. Now, I'm not expecting anything like groundbreaking of him, like maybe leaving in like 6 to 8 months or whatever like that. I'm not expecting that. I'm just trying to figure out like what is ultimately left for him in the world of wrestling, because he's like,
building.
He's like 55 years old and there's not much for him to do. He's just going to do whatever he needs to do in order to get the people that he wants to get over. And that's about it. And in terms of what was done here, like for his return, the entrance, like hearing Judas again, I loved it.
Fucking awesome.
I freaking loved it, because Judas to me, it's so good, especially with what the crowd does with it. I mean, everybody sings theme songs nowadays in the world of wrestling. I mean, we hear Orton's theme being played and they sing along to it. They do, like, there's so many theme songs nowadays that they get sung by, but Judas, to me, like before anything else, realistically, kind of became like the theme song that people love to sing along to at that time, especially during the pandemic days when the fans were just starting to come back. They freaking loved to sing that shit.
Started on the Jericho Cruise before the pandemic hit. That's when it first started.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like, but when it came down to like when the pandemic and everything happened and fans started to come back, they loved that. So like, I loved hearing it. I think he's ultimately going to be fine here. And we'll just see how his AEW run goes. But it's not going to be anything
star building
too groundbreaking. It's just going to be for the star building and whatever he needs to do in order to finish out his career at the age of 55 years old.
Just you saying that just sounds funny to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
I hated
everything about it. He's got to finish
just
out his career one way or another, bro.
I guess.
I talked to Mike earlier, and Mike, you heard me say this like when we talked last time, but like I took it as like a silent retirement at the time because he was just gone for so long.
Yeah,
I didn't expect a return realistically anywhere until I actually saw it with my own eyes.
You know who I
actually saw it tonight.
You know who I just seen on video at an indie show in a match? I just seen this video tonight. Scott Steiner wrestled at an indie show this past week. Seen half the match. Wasn't a long match, but he never realistically had his final match. A lot of guys have not had their a final match. A lot of guys just walk away, and that's it. Ruby Soho, she just did an interview with another, content creator. She just, injury, walked away, and now she hasn't been in the ring in 2 years.
Yeah.
Who knows if she'll ever come back? She's having a successful thing with her business right now. That's the thing is wrestlers don't always have to have that final match, but is it good for the fans in a sense? Yeah, because of the closure thing. But at the same time, sometimes it doesn't need to happen. And I don't think that's Jericho's case. I think this is just him saying like, hey, I'm coming back. I'm going to try and help the guys that are the future of this company. That's that, because they got to start creating bigger stars now. You're not going to have the same guys roaming around, title pictures and stuff all the time. That's just going to get old and stale. You got to start bringing newer people. I mean, Anthony Bowens is getting a qualifier for Moxley's championship tomorrow on Collision.
I wonder who's winning that.
But that's the point. Like, they got to start building these younger guys that aren't getting that TV time and everything. And that's the point. That's where I think Jericho's going to come in, is building these stars that should be getting these opportunities, are being built to get these opportunities, because sooner or later, and we've talked about this plenty of times, the Chris Jerichos, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton's, Roman Reigns, CM Punks of the world are not going to be around forever. So, and this is the first time, if you really think about it, this is the first time in AEW's history that they got to start making that transition. WWE does it every 15, 20 years. They make the transition and start bringing the bigger star, like newer, bigger stars up. Because we went from Rock and Stone Cold to Cena and Orton to Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Now we're getting to that point of who are going to be the next ones. Oh, but Femi, maybe John Evans. They have that 10, 15, 20 year thing. This is the first time AEW's got to go through that transition. And who better than one of Chris Jericho and other stars, not just Jericho, but other stars to come in and help that happen. And that's what I think he is going to be here to ultimately do. If we get him going after anything, he's not going to walk out with it. It's just going to be that, hey, this is what AEW first was built on. Jericho versus Omega, Jericho versus this guy. There was history between Jericho and MJF. So, bam, we're going to have this match one more time before Jericho decides to call it quits. Doesn't mean he has to win. So,
no. What we just saw last week, if people were caught up in the news or whatever, and I don't normally, live on the dirt sheets or whatever, but Chris Jericho trademarked the Cornerstone. And one way or another, whether you like Chris Jericho or not, he was
not the Cornerstone.
He was not the Cornerstone.
Let's not start that conversation.
He was not the Cornerstone, but he was the inaugural AEW World Champion. They needed that big star. They needed that star to have that equity for their first ever world champion. And Jericho was that. It was Jericho versus Hangman Adam Page for that world title match. Hangman Adam Page, though I would have loved it, was never going to win the world championship right out the gate because Jericho had the equity and Jericho had that star power to help that world championship get up to TV. To get up to the ground. Plus, they needed that TV deal, and Jericho was that guy. He's gonna be known as the Cornerstone in this company. So I'll just tell you that right now. That's like his next piece for whatever he's going to be doing to rebuild himself and to reinvent himself. But that's what they're going to do.
I'll say this. I'm a fan of Jericho, and you guys know that, and I made it very well known that I'm a fan of Chris Jericho. But I wouldn't even call him the Cornerstone. I would say that he was a big piece of the platform that this company has been built on. But a Cornerstone? No. A big piece of the platform of the foundation? Yes. But not a cornerstone. Because first you have your four pillars who are the future of the company in Darby Allin.
One is relevant right
Jungle
now.
Boy.
Technically two.
MJF. You have those. So what is it? Do you have your pillars or do you have your cornerstones? You got to pick one.
Yeah, the pillars are not even a thing.
The pillars aren't even a thing anymore.
Because one pillar has just completely surpassed them tenfold. One pillar we're not even supposed to talk about, and that's Sammy Guevara. One pillar didn't. 6 months ago he claimed he didn't even want the world title. Now all of a sudden we're shoving him in the world title, and that's Darby Allin.
Here's what happened to the pillars. Okay, one of them is leaps and bounds about everybody else. Okay, MJF. One of them wanted to win was going to win the world title, but decided to go climb a mountain instead. So there you go with that. Yep. One of them you can't even talk about. Because either A, he's nowhere to be seen, or B, he's
on Ring of
doing
Honor
elsewhere. He's Ring of Honor. That's Sammy. And then Jack, Jack has a very up and down career in this company. So take that for what you will. So, like I said, he's had a very up and down career within AEW. So the pillars don't mean a single thing. And that is what it is. But Jericho, whether you like him or not, was the first ever AEW World Champion, and they're going to build upon that.
I don't know. Like I said, this is the last thing I'll say about it because we're like almost 30 minutes in talking about Jericho. I don't know. It's just, star building. I get it. There's got to be something else for me to turn around my opinion or my stance on Jericho. There's got to be something else because because the previous year plus of Jericho has been awful. I didn't care for the learning tree thing. It's terrible. That went nowhere. And I feel like that's still my fear is that they're going to go back to that because that's still open ended because it didn't end.
He
Now
never
you're
goes
just gonna
back
go.
to something.
Now you're just gonna go and be baby faces again, or baby faces now with the learning tree thing. So I don't know.
If there's one thing, and this is my last thing to say, is if there's one thing about Chris Jericho, is he never goes back on something he did before. Never. So like if he would have came back to WWE, we would have never seen the list. We would have never seen the glowing jacket. It would have been a completely rejuvenated, different type of version of Chris Jericho. In AEW, we've had 4 or 5 different versions of Chris Jericho. He never goes back on something he did before, which means the learning tree, it's done. That tree has been chopped down, chopped into pieces. The wood has been formed out, built. They built that bridge and they got the fuck over it and they kept going.
Technically, he went back to the Painmaker thing for a brief period of time.
And he did that whole during his anniversary year, he went and dressed up as the lion
Lionheart, I think it was.
Yeah, Lionheart.
Yeah.
But that was like a one-off thing that he did. So I'm talking long term.
Yeah, no, he always reinvents himself, which is going to be this cornerstone thing. And I mean,
I'm scared.
We'll see what happens.
I'm excited.
No matter how long it's going to be, we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I don't know. Moving on. We went to the back. We had a backstage brawl between Will Ospreay and the Death Riders and Jon Moxley. They blurred out a lot of that. I mean, I've never heard them blur out so much language or dialogue in one segment, but there was a lot blurred out in that one segment. Once again, like I said, now again, for me, I would say, I think I say this a lot about a lot of feuds at this point. Again, I would have found some kind of way to keep the physicality from them between those two, between Mox and Will Ospreay, to a minimum, because again, I think it's just kind of diminishing what they built. I mean, last week was fantastic with Will Ospreay in the backstage segment in the promo that he had, his best promo in AEW in his short period of time. So thus far in AEW in his AEW history. So yeah, I would find some kind of way to not have them have so many backstage brawls and all this physicality. We've seen a lot of it tonight. So to me, it just kind of diminishes what they started last week. So that's just my take on it. Then we go finally to the contract segment that was teased in the beginning of this program. MJF and Kenny Omega, they make their entrances. MJF immediately signs it with saying nothing, which is probably a first. Just signs the contract immediately, hands it to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega signs it, so the contract has been signed by both competitors in this match for the world title at Dynasty. And then MJF begins to say something, and then Kenny Omega just completely does not want to hear it. He says he needs to be the one to strike him down. He never calls himself the god of pro wrestling, but if MJF is calling himself the devil of professional wrestling, he needs to be the one to strike him down and take the championship off of MJF. MJF even stood up and clapped after Kenny Omega was done. Like I said, just I guess applauding the fact that he stepped up to him. He stepped up to the plate, stepped up to him on the microphone, which not a lot of people in this company can do or will do. MJF proceeds to get under Kenny's skin, talking about his diverticulitis and his stomach issues and things of that nature. Said his career is basically on borrowed time, essentially. I think that's why we have seen Kenny Omega largely take a step back from the ring and kind of work this part-time kind of schedule, which again makes sense. I'm not even faulting him for that. Again, like I said, diverticulitis is pretty serious. And then, like I said, of course, he then tries to goad Kenny Omega into hitting him, which if that were to happen, of course, this is like a no contact thing. If they have any kind of physicality, the match is off at Dynasty. Then we see Speedball Mike Bailey come out, oddly. Once again, like I said, Speedball is just like following or shadowing Kenny Omega and almost being like, I don't know, like this fanboy of Kenny Omega. And he's just like, hey, you should be thanking Kenny Omega for all of these things and AEW existing and all of this. So it's very weird. But now we finally get to the reason why I guess Speedball has been shadowing Kenny Omega thus far. He challenges MJF to a match, and thus we get MJF versus Speedball Mike Bailey in the world title match. Now, I do believe there was a stipulation in that match. If Speedball Mike Bailey beats MJF, he would get the winner of Kenny Omega MJF at Dynasty.
Yeah, it was an eliminator match. So
yeah, basically an eliminator match without calling it an eliminator match. I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this particular promo, the speedball involvement and all that. Mike, I'm gonna start with you.
So not to burst anybody's bubble, but I did research on this whole thing that MJF said. Do you guys want me to speak the truth, or do you want me to stay in storyline?
Speak the truth.
Don't matter to me.
Don't matter.
Do whatever you feel.
So Kenny Omega, and I read this, and don't quote me on it, but anything you read on the internet could be true, it could be false. But I read that the only time you're really in deep threat after a diverticulitis surgery is within the first 30 days. So I don't know how true that is. So don't quote me on that. Don't know how true that is. I just read something, and it might be true. It might be false. Don't know. I think it was just MJF's. It was just MJF's tactic of trying to get under Kenny Omega's skin. I think because of the whole, if Kenny Omega attacks MJF, he loses his title shot. If MJF attacks Kenny Omega, he loses the belt before the match even happens. So, I like how they did this contract signing tonight. There was no bullshit before signing. They both signed, and they both spoke their piece. And them just trying to get under each other's skin by insulting each other, talking about diverticulitis and MJF not having any balls and everything. I liked everything about this. And Speedball Mike Bailey, again, his obsession with Kenny Omega is just, I don't know. I mean,
there's got to be something more to this than but I don't know.
He can't hit you, but I can, Max. So I'm going to take you to the limits. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, why out of all the guys, and we just talked about this like 5 minutes ago about the whole star building. I get it. But Speedball Mike Bailey, like, you couldn't pick anybody else. It has to be Speedball Mike Bailey involved in this thing. I get it. Like, it led to them being in their hometown tonight and everything like that. But you couldn't pick anybody else in that locker room. The 190 guys and girls you have in that locker room, you couldn't pick from. It had to be Speedball Mike Bailey. Because is it believable at all that if MJF wins at Dynasty, Speedball Mike Bailey's getting the first shot? Is it believable at all that Speedball Mike Bailey is going to beat MJF for the world title?
No.
But that was only if Mike Bailey won that match, though, which he didn't. So we didn't have to worry about any of that because he lost the match
even
anyway.
tonight. And tonight's a non-title match. I didn't think Speedball was beating MJF.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was never going to win the match. So
they said it mid-show. They literally said it mid-show that Mike Bailey will be getting the first shot at whoever walks out as the AEW
I
World
never
Champion.
heard that. I'll have to go back.
Because it was mentioned.
I definitely did not hear that.
It was mentioned. But it's just not believable. Like, these are the little things that they really need to start fixing. Is it's understandable MJF is your champion. He's your champion long term, even after Dynasty. If he beats Kenny, you have more plans for him. But still pick somebody a little more believable. Like, Mike Bailey is not believable for this. He's not doing anything to make me believe that, hey, Kenny Omega loses and he gets a world title shot. He's going to be the one to take it off MJF. It's not believable. Give me somebody a little more believable. Hell, you could have gave me Brody again, because Brody's a little more believable. And I would have enjoyed seeing
my eyes, but I guess he's more believable.
But he is more believable. I think you didn't believe him at one point when he got a shot at that belt that there might have been an off chance they were going to put that belt on him for even a short period of time.
No. Genuinely no. I love him and all.
Okay.
But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, sure, he was getting that push. And I love that they gave him that opportunity. He did look believable. Like,
a little more believable. What has Speedball done lately? Except for win the trios championships with two separate trios. Well, switch of one partner because of Hangman.
Of course he's not believable, because at the end of the day, he's never been positioned as a singles guy within the company to even try to do anything with it.
He was a singles guy long-term over in TNA.
Yeah. Because they actually had like a roster that fit his style a lot better with this.
This roster don't fit his style?
AEW fits it, but when it comes down to like the 9,000 people that they have in this company, they have about 9,000 speedballs. So
they do.
I mean, regardless of how you may feel about it, he's not going to be positioned as a singles guy above any of the other speedballs that are in this company to be a part of a world title scene. He's not.
Which means he's not believable. And if they would have positioned Brody in this position, if they would have put Brody in this position over Speedball Mike Bailey, I'd have believed it a little more. Why? Because Brody had an opportunity before, he lost, found his way back to the opportunity, and now he awaits to see who walks out of Dynasty as world champion because he's going to get another shot. Opposed to Speedball Mike Bailey, who just goes out and wins trios championships and doesn't do anything else but, kisses the ass of people. Because this Kenny Omega thing is just weird.
Well, they're not positioning Speedball in a light to where he's looking credible in any way, shape, or form anyway. He's looking like a complete kiss ass that doesn't know his left from right.
To me, I don't think it's the, at least for me, I don't think it is the thing of believability. I'm with Bill. I didn't think they'd be putting the championship on Brody at any point. What is great with Brody is he just looks like a legit threat. That's
exactly what I mean.
It's not believable that he's going to beat MJF and going to put the world title on Brody King. No.
And that's exactly what I mean is even I sat here knowing that they're not going to put the belt on Brody, but they're making it believable. He's a massive force that is a threat to MJF. He's proven that. But then in title match time, MJF rose and won the title, kept the title. Okay? Brody is a threat. He is a guy that makes it believable at any point in time because of his size, his stature, the way he moves for a big guy, that he can go out and win a match. Lost his opportunity, found a way back in. Him being a side of Kenny Omega as, standing side by side because this whole thing with the Don Callis family, we don't know what fucking direction they're going. Brody King has an issue with the Don Callis family. A little more believable of Brody King being in this situation as well because of the Don Callis family, but doesn't mean that they're going to put the belt on him. I didn't think they were going to put the belt on him, but they made it seem a little more believable because of the push they were giving him. It had that feeling like, oh my gosh, they might actually do this. Who knows? Maybe. Instead, it's, it's Mike Bailey. Fucking ain't gonna win. Are you kidding me? No. I will. Never mind.
What I said when Brody King was having that opportunity is like, I'm glad this man is getting the opportunity because he's looking like a credible superstar to maybe do it one day, but he ain't doing it now.
There you go. That's all it is.
Like that's what it was to me. And
he's
for
not the
Speedball's
guy
sake,
to take the title off of MJF. Plain and simple.
Nobody should be taking this title off of MJF until somebody's worthy.
Exactly.
That's it.
I've been saying that for weeks. And right now, there's just nobody worthy. There's good candidates, but they're not worthy to take the title off MJF. Plain and simple. Kenny Omega, he's a good candidate. Is he worthy enough? I don't think so.
On this stage for Dynasty? No, because it's not a big enough stage for me to get it done for.
I don't know. Where are we even at? Okay, we just got past that. Okay, so our next match. Is this our first match? I think it's
trios match. Yep.
Yeah.
First match is The Demand versus Brody King, Omega, and Jack Perry. I didn't care. I don't care about The Demand.
And I care.
Per se. Brody King, Omega, Perry is a random trios pairing. They probably should be all. Get rid of Omega, add another, probably add Luchasaurus. They could go after the trios titles. Again, you need to make trios to go after the trios championships because the current trios champions, since winning the trios titles at Revolution, have done nothing. There has been no mention of those trios championships. You see them, but there's no mention of, hey, who's their next opponents? Hey, when are they going to defend the titles next? Nothing.
It's
You
because
barely even see them together as a trios.
it's because at the point in time they won the titles, and now they're all off doing their own thing to prove that they are worthy of singles championship.
And in turn, what is that, Mike? Not a trios. A trios is they move together.
Bullshit. Bullshit. It's simple as that. Bullshit.
You saw Kevin Knight tonight, and I haven't seen Kevin Knight in weeks.
Point blank period for me. I just want these trios championships gone.
Yeah.
Like, why are they even existing at this point? Like, genuinely. Like,
Trios.
in the early stages of AEW, I like that trios championships were a thing because they actually had a solid trios division, and if anything, there are so many goddamn factions within this company. Like, literally everybody on the roster was a part of a faction at one point in the company. So like anybody could have gone after these trios championships. Now there's like maybe 2 real trios in this company, and that's it.
Their timing with the trios belts were kind of a little off because yes, a lot of people were in factions, but it was on the back end of people being in factions and people were starting to break away. If they would have brought these belts in at the beginning of AEW, along with the world title, women's title, tag team titles, then it would have been a little more better, and because of the fact they had all those factions. But they brought those trios titles in when factions were really like they were starting to break apart. And ever since then, it just hasn't made sense. The only exciting faction that won those titles would have to be, you could say, the Acclaimed, and maybe you can say because didn't Aleister Black's group win them at one point?
Yeah,
I love
they
when
won
had the
them.
titles.
And that's what I mean is they were kind of in a flip-flop situation because all those factions broke off. That was the timing. Just like the women's tag team titles. When AEW first started, they could have strided with the women's tag. I said it back in 2021 at Double or Nothing 2021. We always knew that we were going to get some type of surprise reveal at Double or Nothing because they tend to do that. And I was saying it right before Double or Nothing 2021 when they first came back from the pandemic. Bring the AEW women's tag team titles in. And I even said it on the podcast that I was doing at that time. I said it on there. I have audio recording of it. We get them fucking 4 years later. And I'm like, this is not the greatest timing. It's like they missed that timing by like a year or two.
They brought him in like the inaugural championship match was at All In of 2022, All Out of 2022. And like, I'm looking at this history now and like, you had some great people to kick things off with it. But man, like now, like you look at it, it's Mystico and Jet Speed as the trios champions. And like, what? Like there may be 2 realistic trios like in this company now compared to what it was back in 2022 or even before in like the earlier stages of AEW. I mean, like
House
it's
of
not
Black
even
is
worth
gone.
it now. It's not.
The Acclaimed aren't a thing anymore.
They missed the beat.
It's pretty much a done deal with this trios division or lack thereof.
Like Pac and the Lucha Bros were tag team, like were trios champions at one point. They were
Death
like
Triangle,
yeah, the Death Triangle. Like they were the second holders of it because it was vacated, and then they won the titles on a random episode of Dynamite in September.
They had that great series of matches with the Elite.
With the Elite, so good. Like it was like a best of 7 thing.
Like what happened? It was just like after that they had no real plan.
The
titles afterwards.
The Elite won the titles on my birthday in 2023. I was freaking excited about that.
So I don't know. It definitely has fallen from grace from where it started. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of a done thing if you ask me. But
Bang Bang Gang. When Jay White was in the company, he had the trios championships with the Guns. I mean, they had.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right though.
Yeah,
I forgot all about that. Yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot about that. I haven't seen the Bang Bang Gang in full
Miss
force
Jay
for a
White
while.
though. Miss Jay White.
Miss Jay White and Miss. I can't remember which one of the Guns is hurt, but yeah.
I believe it's Colton. I think Austin.
Colton. Yeah, they're both. They've been hurt for a while, and it has just been Juice and Austin for a minute. So yeah, I don't know. So definitely gotta get Jay White back on television.
And Ace. Let's not forget about Ace Austin, who randomly joined Bang Bang Gang for whatever reason.
It makes sense because I mean he was so closely related, with them or associated with them and the Bullet Club and all that. So what else do you do with Ace Austin? He's not doing anything.
He ain't doing much. He lost to Tommaso on Saturday.
Ice cold.
Past collision. So
whatever. But we see the arrival of Copeland and Christian, and they arrive with steel chairs in hand, looking for a fight. They obviously catch up with Renee. And Copeland, he's all about business. He says they're there to take out anyone that gets in their way. And as you kind of see him having to stop Christian Cage from swinging a steel chair anywhere near Renee. I thought that was hilarious. They walk off, and you just hear Copeland go,
"Really,
Renee? Really?
Really?
Why? Like, what? Well, she didn't do anything. Like, no, not Renee."
I thought when Cope was just alone with Renee, it'd be like, "Look, man, I'm sorry." He's an asshole. Like because they were doing the whole asshole thing. I thought he was gonna say that, but
I was waiting
away.
I was waiting for when they walked away when he went, Renee, really? Cage going, sorry. just hear him just muffle, sorry. Like that's what I was waiting for. And then backstage,
sorry about that.
There was the moment backstage too. I was waiting for Christian. Like once they were done with everything they did, after Copeland said, make sure they get that message, and then Christian just comes back and just looks at him, and goes, "You were in our way," and then just walks away. That's what I was waiting for. Like Christian missed 2 gold moments tonight, and damn.
Well, Christian did say, "Is like I think they're in their way," and then Cope said, like, "Yep," and then they just went on with the attack or whatever. But him coming back into frame and saying that would have been a really cool, like a golden opportunity to thank too.
He missed 2 gold moments tonight. Would have been great.
I'm sorry.
Good stuff. Good stuff for Cope and Christian though. They might be becoming my second favorite thing on this program aside from MJF. So good stuff from them tonight. Now
they'll be on tomorrow.
The big question.
FTR will be there.
I don't care. But the big question here is why was the Don Callis family in the locker room of FTR? So now there's some kind of something going on with Don Callis family and FTR. Hopefully, we're not going the route of having FTR joining the Don Callis family. We don't.
I won't give a single shit either way.
No, please no. They don't. So,
I mean,
I won't give a single shit either way, dude. I'm sorry. No.
I mean, would it be better for Don Callis to be with them over Stokely, though? Has Stokely really fit with FTR since being with them?
No, not at all. I agree with you there. But I get enough Don Callis in 2 hours. I don't need to see him with yet another tag team or group, or I just don't. Like, get someone else. You mean to tell me there's other people out here in the wrestling world,
and that would put them over the 100 mark in the threshold for how many people are in this faction. So I mean, at this point, I simply do not care. I get it. Don Callis would be better than Stoke. I agree with you there. But
he is Paul Heyman on steroids in AEW, if you ask me. I don't even think Paul has ever managed this many people in a single year. So I don't know. We'll definitely have to see there. I just hope FTR's not joining the Don Callis family.
I think they just wanted to have 2 people that they know they can just take a beating. So they went to 2 of the most irrelevant people within the Don Callis family. Say, go in the locker room, take a beating for 2 minutes.
Maybe
we'll be good.
I'll take that over anything else, any other development.
I may be reading into that a lot less than what it should be, but I realize it's not anything more than that. Your
explanation is perfect.
I hope it's nothing more than that.
I gotta applaud you. I hope it's nothing more than that. Just you said it just perfectly. I don't want anything else other than I don't want anything more. I'm fine with that. We got the next match. We got Pac versus Will Ospreay. Pac attacks. So, okay, first of all, I didn't like how this match started. Pac attacks Will Ospreay at the entrance ramp, and then he hits a brainbuster on Will Ospreay. Now, I don't know if this was just selling or if he was legitimately feeling the effects of being, basically dropped on his head, essentially, on the entrance ramp. But he was very slow to get up after that and like wincing in pain after that. I didn't like this simply because, well, there was a couple of spots like this involving his neck and things like that. As you can still see, it's heavily taped up. It was a good match. This was a good match for what it was, but like, why we don't need the man just came back. We don't need to have these spots. We just don't. Like, we're not trying to have him injured and on the shelf yet again as he's starting to build momentum past Moxley and the Death Riders to something more important, which we've talked about, possibly the world title at All In at Wembley Stadium. So, but like I said, I don't like these spots. I don't like that. I don't like seeing stuff like that. It's just highly unnecessary. If you ask me, now, like I said, if he was just selling, hey, bravo.
I honestly think it was a bit of both, to be honest.
Could be
a bit of selling, but also it's a new reality now. He had double neck fusion surgery. Of course, it's gonna feel like shit when you get bumped like that.
Which is more of the reason why I don't feel like we need to do it. I didn't really, when Edge first came back from his neck injury, I don't see him taking brain busters. I don't see him diving head first for tope suicidas.
I realistically don't think he can. I think he might have like a list of moves that he wants to like say, look, if you think you're gonna be doing this move to me, no, because I have this on like my personal ban list. I'm not taking it. So we'll find something else to do if you really want me to take a big spot.
And you just said it too. I think there needs to be more of an internal conversation, whatever that conversation entails, of excluding moves.
Yeah.
Ospreay doesn't need to be taking brain busters. That's just plain and simple.
It's a new reality now. He should be thinking that way, regardless of whatever you like. I know you're not going to completely change your style. That is obvious. Like, you're not going to completely change your style. That's fine. But fix it up a little bit so you can at least stay here for a little bit longer, is which we want you to do.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, if I'm Ospreay, I'm not taking brain busters on the entrance ramp. So that's just me. Other than that, like I said, fantastic match.
He did a tombstone on the apron.
He took a tombstone. He did. Yes. He took a DDT outside the ring. I mean, like, so many spots that I think like were unnecessary to the head and neck area of Will Ospreay. But again, like I said, a fantastic match. They have such great chemistry together in the ring. Will Ospreay wins this match. Post-match beatdown, like we've seen probably 1,000 of them now by the Death Riders since they've been together. As the neck was being wrapped around a steel chair of Will Ospreay by the Death Riders, Mox comes out. I don't even remember what Mox said. I didn't even write it down. But yeah, like I said, more physicality between those two that I feel like, again, as I said earlier, is unnecessary. I still think it's going to be a good match regardless. But like I said, good match here. Post-match beatdown probably didn't need to happen. I mean, it doesn't really add anything to the match.
They always do them, so I'm numb to them.
Yeah, they always do them. So I mean, it's like to be expected at this point. But other than that, like I said, fantastic match. Will Ospreay gets the win here. Probably the right call again. But I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this match. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, what Mox said at the end of all of that, he's like, "Don't like." It's not personal, so don't make this personal. But at the end of the day, I don't know why it wouldn't be personal for Will Ospreay to begin with, because at the end of the day, you did try to quote in storyline to end his career by breaking his neck and taking him out of action for as long as he was. So it's pretty personal. I'm sorry, Mox, but it's pretty personal. But Claudio's back. He showed back up on AEW programming. So, I mean, I guess he's done doing whatever he was doing in CMLL. I don't know if he's still the world champion over there or whatever, but
he's the only one wearing white.
Back. So, which was an interesting thing there, but I'm not going to read too much into that.
No, please don't.
But, I mean, you know, they did their post-match beatdown. I'm numb to it. They always do it. Match is cool. I was in the exact same boat with all the bumps to his neck and all that, but Samoa Ospreay, he's going to do whatever he wants to do. And you just got to take the good with the bad for what's realistically going to be coming out of these matches. It was fine for what it was. And the match at Dynasty is for the Continental title. I don't like it, but
is it really?
Yeah, it's for the Continental title. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And regardless, it's just another step for Will Ospreay to get over the hump so you can get to All In at the end of the day. So we'll see. Even if he doesn't hold this championship, he doesn't have to hold this championship for a long time. But I don't like that it's for the for the Continental title.
He doesn't need it at all.
Takeshita should have been the Continental champion when he had his match against Mox, and that should have been that. But I'm not going to harp over that now. It's done and over with. And we'll see what happens at Dynasty.
Mike?
I'm going to say one thing about Will Ospreay tonight, and the word is oversell. I mean, him selling the neck injury was good, but at the same time, it was like it was a bit oversell, especially with the doctor. The doctor did great tonight. I got to get hats off to the doctor tonight. Ringside Doctor was really good in his part. I was waiting for him to say something that didn't fit into the story, but hats off to the doctor. As far as the match, good match. Post-match, I'm 50-50. It didn't need to happen. It did need to happen. And as far as Will Ospreay winning the championship, I don't know. It seems like our focus is for Will Ospreay to go into All In Wembley to win the world title. And what if that's not the plan? That's the question. What if that's not the plan?
I don't know.
Like, I have a bad habit of fantasy booking way ahead of time. And I think I've calmed down on that for the past year now on doing that because I thought too far ahead. What if that's not the plan? What if the plan is for him to win this championship and kind of take this championship to the next level and not have a short run?
MJF, you mean?
No. Will Ospreay.
Oh, Ospreay.
What if the Continental title is the title that they want to put on him?
I'm sorry. I read it as world title. I was like, what?
But no, that's the thing. I think All In is the focus for him, but as fans. But what if that's not it? What if their focus is let's put this belt on him and see if he can build this up for us because it's just not clicking. Even with us putting it on Moxley, it's not clicking. Will Ospreay's very popular. So what if them putting this championship on him helps with this championship?
Maybe. So
what if All In's not the ultimate? What if that's not the focus?
Maybe. I mean, like I said, I can only speculate, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that's the plan, and ultimately I'm not saying it is. And again, you just said it with elevating titles. It will be the reason we're so hyper focused on All In is because of where it's at, and who it's in front of. Yeah, he's going to get probably the biggest pop of the night in All In, going into if that's the plan, the main event world title, right? And then an even bigger pop or just as big winning the title. But then after that, I agree with you. He's not going to, in my opinion, elevate the championship as MJF did.
Yeah.
He's just not going to. Like right now, what MJF is doing right now is just top level. So even with the Continental Championship, like it's not clicking with Mox. Mox doesn't need a title. That's probably why. Then you put the title on Ospreay. I mean, he's only going to go so far, in my honest opinion. I don't think he's going to elevate that championship all that much. It's going to feel more important because of who it's on and because of the talent that he is, but it's not going to elevate the title that much, in my personal opinion.
See, and I get the whole connection thing of like, oh, where All In's at and where Will Ospreay's from and everything like that. But if you look in the history of wrestling, that was never even really a favorited thing. It never was. I mean, you go back to SummerSlam 92. Main event was British Bulldog and Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship, not the world title. Bulldog walked out as Intercontinental Champion, but not world champion. How many times, Sami Zayn, the talk about Sami Zayn going into Saudi for the world title? Never happened. but they would build him up to make you believe there's a chance he might get a shot, especially for WrestleMania 43. So I get it, the whole connection thing, but I mean, I don't know. Part of me feels like they're going to try and put this title up because of how popular he is, and they're going to try and build that up, opposed to having him go after a world title. Because you got to look at it too, is he's come back, and the people that are around the world championship right now, he's not even sniffing the world title. Not even. No mention, no nothing. And we are now in the month of April. May, June, July, August. Yeah, 4 months. They got 4 months to get there. But then look at the people that are around the world title right now. MJF, Kenny Omega, Darby Allin. You could probably say Swerve. Couple people. Not Will Ospreay. And yeah, the winner of the Owen gets a shot at the world title. I'm correct on that, right?
Yes.
At All In. Okay. So who's to say Will Ospreay even gets entered into the Owen? What if that don't even happen?
I think that'd be a mistake.
It's crazy to think about, but I mean,
what if he doesn't get picked to even be in it? Then what? If he walks out of Dynasty, exactly. But I think that if he walks out of Dynasty with the Continental title, they're going to try and build this belt up because they know it just has not been a success. It hasn't been, no matter who held it. But with Will Ospreay's popularity, maybe, just maybe, they might be able to get it built up. I mean, look what Orange Cassidy did for the TNT championship. TNT title wasn't jack shit before he held that title. Or not the TNT title, the international title. Wasn't jack shit until he held it.
It's not really much of anything now.
Exactly. But when he held it, it was popular. He built it up. They just let it fall down. They let it fall. What if they turn the Continental title into something that, it's a kind of like a, shoot your shot type of deal. Like, hey, new rules to the Continental title. If you win the title and you hold it, by the time we get to a certain point, you can cash it in. And he turns that match, whoever wins the Owen, into a triple threat. Who knows? There's all types of possibilities. But we don't know who's going to be in the Owen. We don't even know if he's going to be in the Owen. And part of me feels like they're going to try and build this title up with him, opposed to him going after the world title by the time we get to Wembley.
I don't know. I don't know.
I still have my heart set on the plan that I think I laid out, but we'll see what happens.
It just makes sense. But again, I can't call it. I don't know.
Man, I can't fucking please anything tonight. Jesus.
Everything I say. It's not that I don't see. It's not that I don't see what you're seeing. It's not that I don't see what you're seeing. It's just that I think when Tony Khan has a set plan, he does not deviate.
No. But what if that's not his set plan?
If it's not his set plan, then I realistically have no idea what the fuck he's thinking. Because at the end of the day, he realistically doesn't even know what he's thinking half the time anyway. Fair. So, I don't know.
I can't.
Realistically, I don't think Will Ospreay does anything special with the Continental Championship, and I could be wrong. I mean, heck, I might have seen the graphic wrong, and it might not. Like, if the title's not on the line, then Will Ospreay's winning, and I realistically do not care.
We can fix that problem right now.
Look it up. I knew
it. Please look it up, because I might have actually looked at it wrong, and I thought it could have been for the Continental Championship, and it might not be. If it's not for the Continental Championship, Will Ospreay's winning.
It's not.
It's not. Okay. Then Will Ospreay's winning. Then Will Ospreay's winning, and we just continue on going through the path that I ultimately think AEW is going to go. We're going to get him in that. We're going to get him in that Owen Hart tournament. We're going to have him win it. We're going to go to the world title at All In, and he's going to win the world title. That is just what I ultimately think happens.
Squash match. Let's go.
I don't think it's going to be a squash. but he wins, and we just move on to what I think the original plan is going to be.
We still got another week, so that title can still be put up for
It
grabs.
still could be on the line.
No.
We got 10 days. We got 10 days. And if we know AEW, they can make a plan last minute happen. This
The
just
only
in,
reason-
Continental Classic titles on the line. Bam.
The reason why I thought it was for the Continental title in the first place was that when I saw him talking with him, I thought he was holding that championship right in front of his face. So I was just thinking that, like, all right, well, if you're holding the championship in front of his face, you're going to try to imply that it's title for the title, but
title in the first place
doesn't look like it.
lost to Takeshita.
That's what I'm saying. I said that earlier, but we'll see.
Anyways. Moving on, we had a women's trios championship match. Women's trios match. The Brawling Birds, Mina Shirakawa versus the Triangle of Madness. I don't care.
Who cares?
I mean, there's nothing to this. The Brawling Birds were the MVPs of this match. They look fantastic.
I love that team.
I love that team too. I really do. It's another team going into All In who I think should be winning the women's tag team titles.
If they won the women's tag titles at All In, I think that'd be perfect.
I like that plan.
I think that would be perfect.
So if that's not the plan, I don't know what TK is thinking. Who knows? But they were the MVPs in this match. I just like the way they operate. Just teaming for such a short period of time. They work like they've been teaming for 10 years. So
right.
I really like them. The thing I hated was there's so many move sequences. Just pin somebody already. We don't need to keep seeing backbreakers and back body drops and tag team maneuvers. Like, just pin somebody already. I don't even care who's legal. Just pin somebody already. That match went on a little too long. Just all these different sequences being hit. And it was like, okay, we just pin somebody already. Like, I don't think you need to keep hitting 4 or 5 other moves after you just hit 3 moves before that. So
they get their shit in.
and then some. But it was like, all right, we can end this match already. But decent match for what it was. But I mean, hey, it's nothing. It's a nothing match. It's not going to mean anything in a week. So
I just want to say thank you to Tekla for not raising my anxiety too much tonight. Just saying, she didn't do unnecessary movements to the point where I had to try and catch my breath. So thanks, Tekla. Let's keep that up.
I think she had us all going in the match, but I mean,
that's not what I mean.
I know that.
Like,
I know that's not what you mean.
She just throws herself around and just what she does.
I know what you mean.
Biggest anxiety attack, and I'm just.
I know what you mean. But I thought she had a solid outing in there, but.
Let me get you guys' thoughts on this match, if any.
None.
Phil, I'm sorry with you.
I mean, come on. Like, what was this? Like, there's nothing for me to grab onto with this thing. Nothing. Like, I understand. I get it. Mina's trying to figure out who attacked her, who attacked Tony. They're not going to figure it out anyway until Tony's back. And even when Tony's back, which is not going to be for long.
Is anyone even going to care?
No one's going to care.
It was
You're
Awesome
right.
Kong.
Oh my
So,
Lord. I've never heard that name in a
wow,
while.
imagine.
That's crazy.
I seriously will not care either way.
It was the fabulous Moolah.
Jesus Christ. I don't know.
This was a nothing
we'll
match
see.
for me at the end of the day.
It's a nothing match.
Nothing is nothing means nothing.
Briefly, I'm breezing over the Tommaso thing because I saw, he's having a match on Collision.
Poof.
Against
The guy
you.
was
Great.
red hot for all of about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and now he's just stuck on Collision. He's so much better than Collision, but they just don't see that apparently.
Welcome to AEW.
Yep, that's what happens.
Unfortunately.
You either get
Unfortunately.
shipped over to the Ring of Honor or shipped over to Collision.
Sad. But we move on to Darby Allin. Darby Allin comes out, his music hits. He says he wants them to cut his music. He's addressing MJF. He says he hasn't seen God or the grave or whatever MJF had said, or whatever he had said weeks ago. So again, he's still making his claim to chasing the world championship. Now, again, last week it seemed as if the hit had been fulfilled by Don Callis family, so we thought we were done with Darby Allin, but apparently not. And then, of course, the Don Callis family comes out. Don Callis I believe he says something to the effect of, if he beats a member of the Don Callis family, he is then going to be granted a world championship match with MJF. I would assume probably after Dynasty, whoever wins in that match. Now, there's something that Darby Allin also said that made absolutely no sense. He's gunning for MJF and the world championship, but he also said that he hopes Kenny Omega beats MJF, which makes no sense. Because yeah, you could still go after MJF, but now MJF has nothing you want anymore. So what are you talking about?
He said that like he doesn't even care who beats MJF at this point. I just want your title reign to be done and over with.
What are you doing?
And now it's like, you know, just paraphrasing what he ultimately said. Then why go after him? See, like this is the point that I do not understand with Darby Allin, and this is the reason why I just simply do not care about him going after the world title in the first place. I don't care. It's passed you by. You ain't winning the title, and if you do, I won't care.
I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked.
I won't care.
So I don't know. I've already said it. They had their small window. It's gone now. I don't see it coming back.
I say it every week. You went to go climb a mountain instead.
Yeah,
that's your fault.
That was it. That was it. And that was their window, and it's gone now. So he's not the guy to beat MJF, not even close. So then of course, well, I already said Don Callis time come out. He handpicked Andrade. Andrade looked shocked. Like, why me?
Pissed.
Why am I the guy? What do I have to do with this? I don't care.
I don't want to do your shitty bidding anymore.
Right.
Like at this point in time, he's done with the bullshit.
Andrade's time in this group is coming to a close, and I think it's coming a lot sooner than you think.
Yes,
believe me. As it should. I don't think he doesn't need Don Callis. He doesn't need Don Callis' family. He's
never needed him, but it was a great time for the time being.
Yeah, it gave him the proper boost in, like, I guess, reintroduction into what he's going to be doing in this company when he came back, but he doesn't need them anymore. So
he takes his pants off and the women go wild. I mean, he doesn't need Don Callis anymore.
There you go. He gets some kind of reaction. So he doesn't need Don Callis for that. So, and of course, then we have yet another hit, I guess, being put out on Darby Allin. But before we could see that, we then have another random development within this. Brody King and Jack Perry come for the save of Darby Allin. Then they get in the ring and they start like walking slowly towards Darby. I thought they were going to attack Darby.
I thought they were going to attack him.
Family. I'm like, what am I watching? What is happening right now?
I was confused.
What does Brody and Jack Perry have to do with any of it? Brody, I could kind of see. This is a world title picture involvement. Jack Perry, what? Huh? What is happening right now? I'm so confused.
I was genuinely confused.
Maybe they had an issue with bringing some stars in because of them being in Canada, and they just had to pull guys from the back.
Maybe
yes.
They're just like, you just get out there.
Might have been just a visa issue type of thing, because you do need a visa to go into Canada with them being a different country. Yeah. So maybe those were just the guys that were there that were ready to kind of shotgun their way out there and help Darby.
Right. Look, the guys that were supposed to be here can't be here, so get out there.
Just get on out there.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it next week.
Make something of this. This is TV time. We're paying good money for this. Yeah.
I was so confused with that, though. Genuinely. And then Kenny Omega came out there to, just slap hands with fans. And I was like, wait a minute, that's it? That's all he was doing?
His music hits, and there's just like, what is going on?
And then it turned out to be he was on commentary. So I was like, okay, fine. But I was like, just the randomest thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Problem now is, even if that is the case of, hey, just get on out there. Problem is next week they gotta explain this now. And I'm scared.
Who was actually going to be out there, or who was supposed to be out there to help Darby?
I'm genuinely terrified for the explanation.
I mean, there are a lot of guys that have had problems with the Don Callis family, so
it's fair. They
could just send out who was normally supposed to be out there if that's the case. Whoever was who originally has their big problems with the Don Callis family, and just they couldn't be there this week, so two guys that also had problems with Don Callis family were able to go out there and help them, but then the original guys come out next week.
And here's your explanation, Cam. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
Like,
You're not
what?
going to get one. You're not going to get one because that's normally what happens in this company is that you either just don't get an explanation at all or it's a bad one. So
Yeah.
you don't buy it anyway. So I don't think there will be an explanation next week, even if there was somebody new or somebody different that was supposed to be here.
That's probably wishful thinking on my part. So
I feel bad for Lance Archer because he got hit with the wheel of the skateboard right on the bone here, and
he got
just like
smacked.
He got wailed.
I felt that. I was like, oh man, that's almost like, you know, hitting your shin on the corner of a fucking like the corner of your bed or your desk or something. It's like, oh god,
that looked like it sucked. So
I felt bad for him. I did. I feel bad for Lance Archer in a whole because he's such a good talent.
it's just a background band for this group. That's it.
He's just their bodyguard, and he's so much more than that.
So much more. But gentlemen, we have reached the main event. The main event saw MJF, the world champion, taking on Speedball Mike Bailey in a non-title main event. Now, for once, I actually cared for the main event because normally I don't. Normally I skip the main event and come right to the studio. But this was actually a decent, a halfway decent match, I would say. MJF, like I said, beats Speedball Mike Bailey as he should have. Hopefully we can wash our hands and be done with Speedball Mike Bailey and this whole world title nonsense. So we move on from there.
I'm missing.
Yeah, and that was it. I think they kind of went a little bit long with the whole Kenny checking on Speedball when it should have just ended with MJF at the top of the ramp holding up the championship, says, "Hey, I'll see you at Dynasty, you bum," and then just walks off. That should have been the fade to black. We end it there. So a little bit of a long, like I felt like something else was going to happen, and it was just them in the ring, just helping up Speedball Mike Bailey. So but anyway,
I was halfway expecting Speedball to like push Kenny out of the way or something or just something like that because it was long enough to think like something's going to happen, but no.
So it's kind of weird. But get you guys' thoughts on this match. Mike, we'll start with you.
So I mean, it was a decent match. Another thing that really made the unbelievability of Mike Bailey being involved in a world title picture was the fact of everything he was doing tonight in the match. Like if you were that hungry and that eager to beat down on MJF and prove that you're a dominant threat to take the championship off of him, then you wouldn't be showing off on the top rope to do your flippy flop onto him. Enough time for him to fucking move. That's that. Because again, going back to the beginning, if you watch Brody Lee and his difference between being in a regular match with a non-champion or whatever, yeah, he does a show-off thing, but when he was against MJF, he didn't waste time. Mike Bailey did and does. So the believability of Mike Bailey beating MJF, even in a non-title match, is not there. It's not. As far as
not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but I mean to even see like him kind of sort of do an underhanded tactic. Use what MJF normally does against him. You know what I mean? Like he pins him, he holds the rope or something like that as that desperation to beat MJF. This is for your world title chance. This is it. So
yeah, like there's just nothing that screams believability.
Yeah,
when it comes to this picture, anyways, with Mike Bailey, there's not. And I'm not trying to shit on the kid. Not trying to do that because he is an amazing talent. He is really good. I couldn't even do 3/4 of the shit that he does, you know. But it's still the point. Again, you go back and you look at those comparisons. It's like, man, like you are not making me believe that if you had a shot at him, you were beating him. Not at one point. As far as the end of the show, the only thing I get from that is the fact that they were in their hometown and it's like, oh, let's go off the air with these two guys celebrating. That's it. I'm with you, Cam. Their last shot should have been MJF, top of the ramp, fade to black. That's it. I'm with you. But I get it too. They're in their hometown. Let's show these two guys, you know, celebrating this loss because, you know, it's what we do. Celebrate losses.
Very Canada episode of AEW, yes.
So I'll say this overall show, they started off hot. They did. They had my attention from the word go. And then about, I want to say 50 minutes in, I was like, all right, things started kind of calming down a little bit. And then it was like, okay, now I'm kind of ready to move on with my night.
Hey, but that's 50 minutes though. That's got to be a record.
We got 50 minutes
It's got to be
until I was ready to
halfway,
say
10 more minutes. They would have had halfway done.
Yep. But yeah, no, they got to the 50-minute mark, and then I was ready to move on with my night. But yeah, so
Phil?
Look, I like the match. I like Speedball, but I mean, he was never winning, so I mean, I was just kind of brushing it off with that. But you know, with everything that they were doing there, it was what it was. I agree with you wholeheartedly about MJF just being the final thing before we cut to black. But like Mike said, the two Canada guys are going to go off with that, and we'll see. But I am looking forward to the match at Dynasty between MJF and Kenny Omega. I think that match, not only is it just going to be a killer match because it's MJF and Kenny, but they've honestly done a really good job with the short amount of time that they have had with this. They've built a lot of time. It wasn't a lot of time, but they built a lot of intrigue for the match to me, at least kind of even being a little bit more intrigued just because of the words that were said to each other. And it's a short build, but if I'm intrigued about it, they did something right. So, I mean, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
I it's like I want Speedball to be better positioned in this thing, but he won't ever be. So I just gotta stop myself from ever thinking that he will, and just move on because I like the guy, I do. And at that point, I mean, like
TNT title on his own. That's the best positioning.
Yeah. And if anything, if you're going to position him on his own, put him into positions to where he can actually succeed in championships that he can actually make worthy enough for him to hold, so that when or if he even holds these championships, he can look credible as a champion within this company.
I agree. Yeah.
I like the guy, but it's just never going to be
not doing him
what people. It's just never going to be what people want him to be, in terms of like that world title scene.
But gentlemen, that is all I got for you for 4/1/2026. Now it's time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, PhillyMet _. You type it, you find it. It's always good there. X is where you can find me on everything when it comes down to all my socials of like what I am doing on there. Like I post my YouTube videos on there, like the links and everything, so you guys can go check them out there. Or like I just post like short video clips of like a TikTok or whatever. X is pretty much the hub of everything. So you follow me on there, you know what I'm going to be doing. So AEW content, WWE content. I got a lot of live streams coming up for you guys within like the next 3 more days, it seems like, because Thursday for Collision, and Friday SmackDown, Stand and Deliver. Like there's so much left to do, especially with WrestleMania season ahead. So just stay tuned, and you'll be all set and ready to go for this WrestleMania season.
Definitely keep up with everything Phil Khan has got going on his socials and just his content in general. You will not be disappointed. Mike, where can we find you?
Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, MetalMike714. Building the YouTube channel stuff still, but the page is ready to be viewed. Just nothing up there yet to watch. Every Monday night with Cam after Monday Night Raw on the table spot, every Wednesday night with these two gentlemen here on the Boom after AEW Dynamite. Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, me and John on the Huddle Hub Podcast, twitch.tv/the Huddle Hub Podcast, youtube.com/@the-Huddle-Pod. You can also find us on X, TikTok, Instagram, and now Epic Studios. So that's where you can find our content at the Huddle Hub Pod. I will be live on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because my personal life schedule has not changed yet, but it will be changing very soon. So another edition for the Saturday, and then once Saturdays are not happening, it will be going back to Sundays, 11 o'clock during the off season. Then when the NFL season kicks off, me and Cam, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in September. So, yeah, see you guys on Saturday morning.
As for me, of course, you can follow me on my socials, on my Instagram, and of course on my TikTok at Cam's Wrestling Corner, where I post my wrestling opinion and predictions and things of that nature. So definitely keep up with me on there. I'm probably the most active on there in terms of the socials. And then, of course, right here on the network with these two gentlemen every single Wednesday night on the Boom after AEW Dynamite, talking all things AEW Dynamite. And then, of course, on Mondays with me and Metalcore Mike after Monday Night Raw on the Table Spot, talking about Monday Night Raw. And that is about it. That's all I got for you guys this week. Love and appreciate all you guys come by and checking out the stream tonight. As I always say at the end of every stream, love, peace, and prosperity. And we are out.